Now we're going to move to the second part of the evening, where we're going to allow 7 startups to actually present their solutions. The way this is going to work is that each startup has prepared a brief, and we've told them to limit this to 2 minutes, about a presentation of how their solutions may help corporates, particularly in this time. What I'm going to ask you all as the audience to do is to help us out with 2 polls. So number 1, we're going to be sending you a poll, a survey right now through Zoom, where you can provide some feedback on the speakers that you just heard. And that's going to be helpful for us as we evaluate how we can continue to improve and provide high quality programs to everyone here listening from home. And second, at the end of the startup pitches, we're going to provide a list of those startups that you might want to get more information from. The idea is that today they're providing a very brief presentation about what they do generally. And then if you're interested in learning more about it, want to have a follow-up conversation in more detail, just provide us with that information, and then we will notify you then of how to get in touch with them and give you more information about those startups. Next, what I want to explain is the list of startups. So they are ready to present, and they are going to be in the following order: Wobot, SmartBot, StatWig, I Am Dave, Light Infosys, Syuk, and Transport Hub. So please be ready. You can share your screen if you like, and then we'll quickly confirm that we see that you're audible, and then you can present. I would also now like to introduce Amit Jain, co-founder of Z Nation Labs. He's actually going to moderate the startup panel. He's going to ask them a question or two and then provide some brief summaries to the audience. Amit, take it from here.
Sure. Thanks, Eric, and thanks, everyone. Before we jump into the startup polls, I just want to give some summary about what we have done in the last 4 days. We have got 1,800 unique corporate participations from 20 states in India and 12 countries apart from India. We've also received some 750 odd appreciating feedback about the initiative. And we are privileged that our efforts that we put together in helping the corporates is kind of paying away. And we think that this is our way of contributing towards the crisis which corporates are facing during this COVID time. We also have done 18 startup pitches in the last 3 days, and we'll have 7 more this evening, and for my evening and your morning, sorry, and 20 plus interest to engage with those startups. So a lot of corporates have come forward to work with the startups at this point in time, which is what was the objective behind which makes me more excited. Lastly, we have launched a campaign to raise money for the underprivileged to serve during the COVID-19 times. You will be able to see on your screen a kind of a donation request, and it will go to the Prime Minister's Citizenship Assistance and Relief in Emergency Situation, what they call as PM CARES Fund. And we request you to donate and kind of help the COVID-19 people who are not so privileged as we are. Thank you. And with that, we will start the startup presentation. Wobot.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and good evening to some of you. I'm Adit from Wobot, and we are a vision-based process compliance solution. I'm just going to be sharing my screen to present to you what Wobot does. Just give me 1 second. Just facing some issues on being able to present my screen. It says the host needs to enable that. Amit, could you help out with that, please?
It is enabled. You can try again.
All right, perfect. Thank you. So I hope everyone can see my screen. Yeah, as I said, I'm Adit from Wobot. We are a vision-based process compliance solution. How we enable this is by plugging into existing cameras, mostly CCTV cameras, and we look at person and their activities. We made industry-specific modules around process compliance, from customer compliance to safety gear compliance to workplace and workforce compliance to incident compliance, and most importantly, hygiene compliance in the current era. We work with multiple brands across food, hospitality, manufacturing, infrastructure, telecom. And today, I'm going to be quickly presenting on how Wobot can help in this COVID-19 era and beyond. I heard a few panelists talk about how food, in one of the discussions on security, food safety and people safety will become a very, very important thing. And our take on that is that hygiene monitoring can be done across premises, across workers, whether it is looking at cleaning activities, mopping activities, whether it's looking at hand sanitization, hand washes. This tool can really help give a real-time feedback on, for example, whether someone is washing their hands for 20 seconds or not. This becomes a feedback loop for people on the ground, around PPE also, whether the right hair nets or the gloves, etc., are being worn. Anywhere there is a close touch point between humans and food, for example, this tool is extremely, extremely useful. Um, Everything is delivered on a real-time basis through in-app notifications, dashboards, WhatsApp, so that someone doesn't necessarily need to download the app and they can use their existing applications to get the feedback on their hygiene levels. I have a very small video to play, which I'll just quickly run through, which shows how in this era, hand wash, which has become really important, our tool can really contribute on a real-time basis to give feedback on how employees are doing on their sanitization activity.
So Aditya, I think we will play the video and we'll send the video to the audience when we send the mailers. But just kind of getting into the question while the video kind of is played, is that the solution, how will the manufacturing companies, how will the kind of a service industry companies will be able to use it, and what will be the pricing point for them if they want to do? So the way I understand is that this is not just now, but even post COVID, when the lockdowns kind of open up, this will be a tool which can be used for automatic monitoring of the compliances, which needs to be kind of an SOP which has been put by the companies, and you'll be able to do. So is there a cost consciousness which you have put to kind of give these solutions, because lot many people will be needing this?
Absolutely. We've brought the cost to something which is as low as 250 rupees per camera, per use case being, let's say, monitoring your sanitization activities in your kitchen or even in a manufacturing setup, looking at hand wash activity through one camera for your employees. So hygiene, as we see it, is not just important for food now, but becomes important for any commercial establishment that will open up post this era. So at that price points, we
Thank
feel
you.
that this becomes readily available for anyone.
It is readily available, and I understand that they can use on the existing cameras and
Yes,
CCTV cameras, and they don't need to kind of have any new hardware implementation cost. So
absolutely.
basically, just kind of take your software, put it on your existing cameras, and just kind of run the solutions.
Absolutely. And
Thank
we
you,
are
Udit.
deploying this remotely. So even with, there's no CapEx, any CapEx or any human intervention touch points required to implement the solution.
Sure. We'll cut the shot out here. If any one of you are interested in kind of looking at Wobot in a little more detail, please fill in the interest form, and then we will be doing it. Will appear at your screen. Thank you, Udit.
Thanks, Amit.
Eric, who we have next?
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is safe and healthy. I'm Santosh. I'm the founder and CEO of the company called SmartBot. So I think there is no better time than this where technology could help everyone in for their existence. So I hope there is already enough emphasis on chatbots from the panel discussion that just now happened. So this is we at SmartBot. So we built a COVID-19 self-assessment bot in association with Apollo and under the guidelines of WHO. Within less than 30 minutes using our chatbot platform, where it takes the symptoms and then it'll try to assess what is the severity of the disease, right? So and then if you look at the recent article from Gartner for the CEOs in the times of COVID-19 outbreak, so there is essence and essential need of chatbots for them to kind of take advantage of. So with that note, if you look at like how chatbots would typically help in the current scenario, or for any business at any time, right? So it could be lead generation to generate from our from their website or any other channels, and customer support to automate their fax, appointment booking, feedback collection, survey collection, payment collections, and RPA. So we can add a conversational layer for all the RPA bots, robots. So that's where we brought, SmartBot as a solution. It's a no-coding platform where you can build a basic chatbot to very advanced chatbot with even NLP capabilities without much of a coding and in quick time. And we support, integrations with your backend as well. It's omni-channel, and we have white label solutions as well, and it's a multilingual and it's scalable solution even for on-premise deployments. And we already seen enough growth in terms of so many business already using our chatbot solution, and then they've seen increase in terms of lead generation. Also, many of their customer queries are being self-assessed, and we have customers across different industries. We have Singapore Postal Government using our chatbot for their customer queries, and from the logistic industry, and we have Muthoot Finance using their internal agent employee automation. So where they are from obviously finance industry, and then we have Ramoji Film City from entertainment. So we do, it's a very generic platform, so you can fit into, you can just customize and build it for any of the use case that you can think of. And
Santosh, can I get into a question from an audience perspective? Just last one clarification you may want to add is that it's an automated bot. You have created the features. People can create multiple bots for their various use cases, whether it is a kind of tracking and working with the distribution model, whether it is kind of working with the employee safety, or whether it is kind of doing the lead generation with the customers. So a lot of manual work which we were doing and a lot of manual labor they were using, they could be it can be used by using this chatbot. I'm just kind of summarizing on your behalf so that we think. Just you want to tell on the pricing point that how easy and simple or how cost efficient is for the people to just use your solution.
Right. So we have clientele. Thanks for summarization, Amit. So we have clients from small and medium businesses to big enterprises like Singapore's government companies. Right. So our price band starts from $19 per month to even $1,000 and per month basis, depending on the customization, depending on the feature set that they want. So we kind of give it a tech. And it's a SaaS based, as well as it can go on premise also, where the security is a concern for many of the enterprises. So we completely deploy their code with all that security concerns taken care.
Thanks, Santosh.
Thank you so much, guys.
If anybody is interested in kind of knowing more about SmartBot, please click on the interest button, which will appear on your screen.
You should all be getting a poll after each startup presentation where you can acknowledge whether you want to receive additional information. So thank you so much, SmartBot. Next we have Statwig. Statwig, are you ready to go?
Yes, just a second.
Excellent.
Can you all see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so hi, I'm Kirti from Statwig. So we are a platform that's been using blockchain to provide better supply chain optimization and provide real-time visibility of products in journey. What started off as a company that's been tracking vaccines for UNICEF across many countries has now also moved on to tracking fresh produce and the food procurement for the government of Telangana. So our platform is to provide actionable insights for extended supply chains in different industries. So we use blockchain, IoT, ERP, and various other supply chain tools. So this is the vaccine ledger, our signature product, which we've been using for UNICEF to track their vaccines. So this provides information right from the manufacturer, the shipping information, the location information, any temperature constraints for the vaccines, etc., to provide a more transparent platform to all the stakeholders. So this has worked so well in the vaccine industry, and considering how sensitive the current COVID-19 situation is, we fall right into the center of it. I mean, we've been tracking vaccines for UNICEF, and we know that in the coming year, there's going to be an enormous production and distribution of vaccines. So this is where we are currently working on now. For the current supplies and other procurement, we have also created a product. This is like an extension of the vaccine ledger, but it is to track equipment or the testing kits or anything for like the medical department and the government. And this is being pitched to UNICEF in America, where my founder is right now. And along with that, we also work closely with Gavi, the Vaccine Alliance. And so in India is also the biggest vaccine manufacturer, so where we currently fall into. And these are some of our current engagements. And I would also like to stress that Statwig is pretty flexible, and any company that works on a supply chain could be our potential engagement. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Kriti. So just to summarize that, Kriti, you are working on an end-to-end monitoring through the software around where the vaccines are going. So if all those pharma manufacturing companies in India who want to use their kind of this solution, they can kind of ensure that this solution helps them kind of monitor where the vaccines are going. And at the same time, they will be able to kind of give real-time data about the production to supply to end use on how things.
Yes.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.
Guys, if you're interested, and if you're a pharma company, especially during this time, click on Statwig, and we'll be able to kind of set up a call or a demo of Statwig with you.
As someone who actually donates to UNICEF monthly, really excited about what you're doing. So now we'd like to invite our next presenter to come share their solutions. I am Dave. We can see your screen whenever you're ready.
Thanks, Eric. Hi, everyone. I'm Sriram, one of the co-founders of Dave AI. We are an artificial intelligence platform, and we help bring the power of online to offline brands. So when I say offline brands, this could be a retailer, could be a manufacturer, or even a bank that predominantly conducts their business in the physical world. So we help them augment what happens in the physical world, driving personalization. More importantly, we help them create virtual experiences. These are virtual experiences where you can create a virtual space and help your customers go through a personalized discovery experience that matches the physical world. In the COVID, aligning to help enterprises adapt to this crisis, we've extended the technology to help both kinds of players. One, who are essential supplier services where they have their physical spaces open for business today. We can help them limit the number of customers walking into these spaces and also transform their spaces into social distancing friendly tools. So we have AI powered kiosks where there is no requirement to touch. We can create touch-free product discovery interfaces and even help pre-book appointments before they walk into stores. For people whose physical sales channels are completely shut, we can help you create virtual spaces like I spoke about. We work with some leading brands in the country, and I'll end my presentation showing you a sneak peek of some of the experiences that we have built so that if there is some interest, we can potentially discuss this later.
So while the video plays, just one question from my side for the for the audience is that these experiences can be created by the kind of a subscription taker, or they will have to have your sales team also, or your service element also gets involved, that you will be making the service, making this made available for them.
No, so it's completely, it's on a subscription model.
It's
Say, for example, it depends on the
yourself.
product. Yeah,
Okay.
It depends on the product. So let's say, what you're seeing right in the front of the screen is a virtual avatar for a bank. So in that case, it's as easy as creating a conversation layer. So you can just give us your, lead generation process, and, it takes less than 4 hours to create an avatar and go live. But
Sure.
if there are products, which involve a bit of like home lifestyle or an automobile, etc., where you have to create or replicate the storefront, then it possibly takes that amount of time to create that content. But from a sales process perspective, it's just configurations that we can remotely do, and brands can onboard on a subscription basis.
Perfect. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Shriram.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you
Yes,
very
if
much
you're
for that
interested in
presentation.
knowing more
Next up,
about
we
this-
have Light Infosys.
Hey, I'm Animesh from NLP Bots. Light Infosys is the
You may
name
want
of
to,
the company.
Anish, you may want to, switch on your video so that we can see, and then you will be able to also present.
Sure.
Go ahead.
It says your video, the host has stopped it, so I'm not able to start it.
Mir, can you set that up? Mir?
Yep.
Yeah, we can see that, Animesh. Yeah.
Great. Hey, everybody, I'm Animesh. My company is Light Information Systems, and the brand is NLP Bots. I think there was some confusion. So, yeah. So, Light Infosys is NLP Bots. So, remember when you're
Sure.
in that. So, I'll just quickly share my screen. It's basically what we do is almost everything that we spoke about earlier in the panel today. So, we are a CPA, a cognitive process. You can see my screen. I'm hoping.
It has started sharing, but we are still not. Yeah, we can see now.
All right. So we are a cognitive process automation platform. What this basically means is that any enterprise today, all the automation is stuck because of some of them still require humans. Like for example, humans to read text, to see images, to take in some data and basically do some action or trigger an action or take some or continue through to do some process, right? So I'm just going to put a number on it, and I think all the panelists earlier today have pretty much covered that, whether it's work from home scenarios or newer shopping experiences or different types of customer care and everything, right? So IDC, we are one of the IDC innovators, and IDC has put a number on it by 2023, but this was before the COVID-19 crisis, and we see that it's entirely being accelerated as we speak very fast, because now every enterprise that we've spoken to even 2 years back is reaching out to us, and they're using our platform to solve various use cases. And these use cases also, I think most of them were covered earlier in the discussions, but just to give you an idea, it's like for Mahindra and Mahindra, for more than 30,000 employees, and today we have another call with them also with all of their employees. It's one of the largest conferences of more than 30,000 people we'll be having later this day. But for them, over 26 processes have been automated for them via, which gets triggered via a chat interface. Again, chatbot is one of the interfaces. In some cases, like what we do for Tata Communications, there is no chat interface at all. We do a lead generation or a B2B analysis where a lot of unstructured text from a lot of sources are collected, and we prepare a report for them. Across the board, so in recruitment, Accenture was here earlier. We help them with their recruiting screening process, where the bots themselves screen candidates for them. So you take any big brand, and we've done some process for them either directly or through our partners.
So, Nimesh, just on the left-hand side, these are your customers for the benefit
Yes.
of the audience, and on the right-hand
These are
side,
some
are
of the
functions.
customers. Yeah,
Yeah.
these are some sample customers in each domain.
And on the
Basically,
right-hand side are the functions one can use or one can do by your bot. Using your
absolutely, the
bot.
processes within these functions that get automated, totally end to end. Yeah. So, and we don't have time to cover that, but basically any process you think which required humans to read something or see something, view an image or an image of a document and take some action basis on that. It could be invoice processing, it could be claims reimbursement, it could be booking a meeting room, it could be doing an interview for a candidate, or it could be generating a report automatically. Any process, you name it, it can be done. It's very unique. It's basically the next level, what we're talking about. It's not to be mistaken with an RPA or a chatbot or any of that. It's basically entirely end-to-end processes being automated.
So just to summarize on behalf of the kind of a corporates on the audiences, what you have today is that any image recognition, any OCR recognition, any kind of a functionalities which our organization is going and doing on a
Frequent
mundane
tense,
regular
yeah,
basis,
policy
you will
log.
be able to kind of convert that into a kind of a digital avatar, I would say, and then the process could be done without the human intervention. So, and it could be any kind of a processes they can think of. So if I would want to request the corporates out here or the companies out here who are there in the audience panel, is that you can think about that, hey, these are the function which we want to automate, and is NLP bot a solution for doing that? You can write your function saying that this is what something which we automate, and then you can send us a mail, or we can set up these things, and NLP bot will be able to say that whether those functions are possible to be accelerated through NLP bot. And if you're interested, just kind of say yes. Light Infosys, I think, is the name of the company, and NLP bot is the product. Thank you, Animesh.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And next we have Syuk.
Hey, good morning,
Syuk,
good
you
evening.
may want
This
to
is Arjun. Hey, can you guys see me?
just wait. Animesh, you will have to kind of log off
Hello.
so that we can see you.
we can hear you, and we're just once the
Yeah.
former
Can you
Go
presenter
see
ahead.
me?
logs off, we should
I'm
be
the
able to.
only guy with
Yeah,
a
Arjun.
formal shirt.
Arjun, go ahead and
Yeah,
Arjun,
sure.
go ahead.
Sure. Let me just share my screen real quick.
Sure.
And let me keep this really, really crisp, right? So good morning, good evening. My name is Arjun. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Suke. We are an industrial IoT startup. And what we essentially do is on a large facility, which could be a factory, which could be a warehouse, which could be a healthcare facility, we track people without using a mobile phone. And we track different sets of people like contractors, employees, security guards, in real time, right? And based on this, we have a number of contextual rules and alerts which help to ensure safety, productivity, and compliance in operations. We also have a lot of detailed analytics on top of location time series data that we generate large amounts of. So how does this help in today's COVID scenario or a post-COVID world? Right, we are able to implement social distancing very, very easily. If you want something like, I want only 3 people to be in the conference room at any given point of time. I want only 20 people to be in the mess hall. And even if there are 20 people, I want 10 people to be on one side, 10 others to be on another side, right? All this is just a few clicks away on the Suke platform, right? If we want to do contact tracing, right, once we get out of this lockdown mode, once we start working, right, there is always going to be a risk till a vaccination is developed and deployed, right? So we are able to do study which areas are at a low risk of infection, medium risk, high risk. We can do that level of contact tracing, and we can do risk profiling not only for people but also for spaces, right? These are low risk, high risk spaces in the facility, right? We essentially started out as a company that is supercharging operations. We have a number of leading brands as our customers, right? And a lot of others are coming back now to implement this business continuity part of the piece, right? And I would like to play a small video before I go there. Big shout out to the CorpGini guys. Thank you very much, Devanshu, for coordinating relentlessly and putting this together. This is amazing.
So just one question.
Hanji.
Sorry, I'll just cut out to the questions. Thank you for appreciation. Just one question. People, you will be able to monitor those through the cameras or the infrared or through the Wi-Fi. What is the technology
So
used?
we
And
essentially tag.
is there a, just kind of, let me complete the question. Is there a kind of a CapEx cost involved at this point in time at the end of the maybe a manufacturing plant or a service industry or a service corporate? Just kind of, if you can clarify that part.
Sure. There is the way we monitor people is by using tags. We tag all the people and the movable assets. and we have a network of IoT gateways across the facility. So what happens is this is at a lower cost, especially for large facilities where to get camera coverage and facial recognition becomes slightly more expensive, right?
Yeah.
Coming to the pricing model, right? We are quite flexible. We are a startup. We have done both CapEx and we have done OpEx also. OpEx is where we traditionally charge a subscription per asset tracked, and we take care of everything from hardware deployment to service, right? Post-sale service.
Sure. So just to summarize that, if I'm a manufacturing plant in Baddi, or if I'm a manufacturing plant in Silvassa, and if I want to deploy this solution so that when the COVID situation when people come out of the COVID situation, I still want to ensure that, we maintain the hygiene, we maintain the kind of a distancing, and you can use, and the alerts will go to the manager, or it will go on the system so that they can kind of warn the employees of not, keeping the required social distancing is the solution. I think if anyone is interested, and I'm just kind of summarizing on the real case scenario, and you have much more to offer, but I'm just kind of summarizing for the benefit of the corporates who are listening now on how they can use this solution in today's time. If you're interested in kind of knowing more about Sook, please show the interest button, and we'll set up something detailed discussion with them. Thank you, Animesh.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And finally, we have our last presentation of the evening. Get ready for Transport Hub.
Hi. Good afternoon and good
Hi.
evening.
Animesh, you will have to log off your screen. So
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello?
we can hear you.
Yeah.
Anyways, you will have to switch off your video.
Yeah, sure.
Arjun, sorry,
Arjun.
you will have to switch off your video.
Just
Yeah. Transport
Hi,
Hub.
once again, good afternoon and good evening, depending on where you are. This is Rohit Chaturvedi from transporthub.com. We started this company around 3 years back. We like to call ourselves as the first technology ecosystem for road transportation. So we are only focusing on road transportation. So what essentially we are doing is we are already saving millions of crores and millions of rupees for Indian clients by integration and automation of road transportation workflow. We are also leveraging, a very strong IoT backbone that we have, which is open for all for others to use. The beauty of our platform lies in its, the wide gamut of services. So as I mentioned, we are integrating and automating the entire transportation chain. So what essentially it is doing, it is not only integrating the entire process from dispatch planning to delivery, but it is also providing lots of automation tools by introducing APIs for integration with ERP processor or legacy systems. So what essentially it is already doing to our customer, it is reducing human interactions by almost 60%. It has done immediate cost reduction for many of our clients by more than 10%, and in some cases more than 20%. It is increasing the responsiveness because we are reducing human errors, and in the post-COVID scenario, we see another benefit coming out of our system, which is lowering the health risk. I think you might appreciate that in India especially, average document changes almost 20 pairs of hand from beginning to end. And in some cases, it may go to 40 or 50. So we are reducing it by almost 90%. Maybe in some cases, if corporates are supportive, it can be almost eliminated by integrating with their ERP systems. We are already serving some of the marquee names, but it's not to say that we are only serving the big names. The platform is so cheap and accessible and easy to use that even the medium size and small size players can use it by plug and play. just to give some glimpse of our team and why we are mentioning the team, because we are the people who are from logistics industry and supported by people who have decades of experience in technology industry with the multinational exposure. We are also supported by very able mentors and very senior mentors. That is Atul Chaturvedi from Shri Renuka Sugar and CEO of SR Port, Rajiv Agrawal. What we now want that, this is not only a tool for cost reduction or workflow management. It is a strategic tool, and the decision has to be taken by the CEOs and CEOs to understand the power of this platform and then delegate it to their respective teams. So you may see that it is not only reducing human interaction, but can also give you lots of analytics insight to have sustainable advantages. So as I said, it is an ecosystem. So we have various products, and it can be used because, as I said, the design is done in such a way that each of the system can be, or each of the module can be used individually. And these are some of the modules. I think there are some panelists who were talking about different products, so they can be used as a different product here.
Thank you, Rohit. I think transportation is need of an hour. I think with the things going to start now, and assumingly and hopefully the economy will going to start kind of coming up again fast. Transportation and kind of trekking transportation is one of the most important kind of parameter which the business will have to look at it. Thank you.
So let me. Can I add here?
Thank you, Rohit. Rohit,
can I have 20
we
seconds?
are short of time.
20
Sorry,
seconds?
we are short. Yeah, go ahead.
20 seconds. So what essentially I'm saying is it's not only after the lockdown. We are already using, we have made it free for everyone till 31st of May. And people can use as soon as they want any transportation need. And, it is going to give them immediate advantage because the cost is going to be the key concern. So maybe they may want to use right now, it is free. And then we can always speak later.
Yeah, makes sense. And you make it free. I mean, you made it free. See, the
Yes.
startups are also contributing to the need of the country. Thank you. Thank you for that, Rohit.
Yeah.
Guys, if you're interested in kind of knowing more about TransferUp, just kind of click on that screen. I think, Rohit, I think with that, we will conclude. And I just want to kind of make some couple of announcements before you close it. For all the people who are on the panel today, thank you for kind of giving an insight. For the participants, I hope that this was helpful, and we are making an attempt to see that how we can help. So we are grateful for your time. We appreciate you spending 2 hours almost every day with us, and we hope that this is often help to you. Again, I'm Amit Jain, CEO and co-founder of CorpGini. CorpGini is a tech platform for corporates who consistently discover and learn about disruptive tech solutions and engage with startups to adopt innovation. So our motive is to ensure that the corporates and the startups engage and come together and engage in kind of defining a solution. So if you're interested in kind of being part of this community, send in your or fill in your interest form. We've been sending you the emails. There would be a link to the membership form. So if you're interested in joining the community, this is a totally free community. There's no charge for becoming part of the community, although we have some qualification criteria of who can be a part of the community. So we would request you to kind of fill in the form if you want to be part of this innovation hub, where we would want to kind of bring together like-minded people. With that, I'll make a close from my side. One more request: there is a form or an email which will come to you to donate towards the Prime Minister case, PM Cares. If you are interested in kind of making any kind of a contribution, please do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Screen in front of you for the PM Cares Fund. Thank you. Yeah, Eric, over to you.
Thank you very much, Amit. I think you summarized all the points I had. Everyone who's left here, thank you so much for sticking with us. You should get a final poll with respect to the donation that Amit just mentioned. And just my final regards from the bottom of my heart for everyone joining in at home, whether you've presented or you're listening. Thank you for sharing and being part of the community, how we can all come together, survive, through these epic times, share different insights of how we can all rise in our different endeavors. And together, collectively, we will create a better earth. So namaste. Thank you so much for everyone and allowing the honor to be a brief part of your lives. Have a wonderful day. And we will be here same time, same channel tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Bye for now. Thank you.